All right, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Tuesday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, well, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. As Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a dumperoni and queso on this beautiful Tuesday. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Rebby. Shout out to Ali. Make a trade today. Well, I mean, I can't necessarily do that, my friend. The market needs to do that for us. Shout out to Preparing for War. Casper Crew in the house. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Let me see a blue candle. Shout out to Reg. Analysis for the masses. Shout out to Hakuna Matata. Uneven man boobs causing plunger to the head. Looking like a chicken drinking water with 6 Juanita while eating jalapeno peppers for breakfast. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I am talking about. Bitcoin is about to explode, says D. Onto. Alright, guys, as usual, if we can get 1,000 likes during the first half hour of the stream, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT. 1,000 USDT. Now, the Bitcoin price, as we speak, is doing some very interesting things. We are getting a bit of a dump to the downside, but we have to understand the context of the market if we want to be one step ahead of the move, all right? It's all about staying one step ahead of the move. So what is going on right now? Well, I think the 4-hour kind of explains it all to us. Let's go ahead and check on the 4-hour. Shout out to FitGenius618. Shout out to Cowboy Crypto, says the chickens are thirsty. Man, I was just outside watching the chickens drink, and I do love me some nice thirsty chickens. I do like when chickens drink because, honestly, it just makes me happy. I like watching chickens eat, and I like watching chickens drink. Shout out to Sean Barringer. God bless you, bro. Shout out to Jay Rodenberg. God bless you as well. Shout out to Hagi. Shout out to Big T. Shout out to Emerald Crypto. Shout out to Hector Pina. Shout out to 6 Juanita. Shout out to Crypto Hub. Dump it to 32K. Man, that would be wild. Would that not be wild? Okay, so let's check this out here. Let's get to the Bitcoin to the 4-hour chart. Well, before we even get to the 4-hour chart, guys, all right, let's just take a look. We're on the 4-hour chart here. Bitcoin is, in fact, trading in this type of pattern right here. We've got ourselves a diagonal zone of support as well as a horizontal zone of resistance right up here. Okay, now, as far as this goes, all right, this is consolidation, very similar to what we have seen back over here, right? So over here, we saw the horizontal resistance, the diagonal support, which did give us a breakout to the upside. Okay, so we are seeing the same kinds of things happen here, which were happening back in this last little area of consolidation. And notice that in this last area of consolidation as well, we did have some significant dumps, right? A lot of people were saying, this is it. When we got this 10% move to the downside, then we got a second dump right here. And things are starting to look a little shaky. Second dump, boom, 6% move to the downside. And every time we start to dump, though, we made a higher and a higher low. So unless we're going to take out this low down here, I think it would be a little safe to say that we are not out of the the bullish woods yet. Okay? Could we be? Of course. Now, there's a few words of caution right now on the 4-hour, a few warning flags. A few things that are making me shake a little bit in my britches. Shout out to everybody who liked the dang stream, guys. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. Again, if we can get 1,000 likes in the next 26 minutes, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT. So we're over here on the 4-hour chart, guys, and there's a few things that make me a little bit concerned here. First of all, we are seeing this is the first range for Bitcoin since when? For a long time. I don't know the last time we saw this. This is the first time on Bitcoin since July that we have seen a double bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame. All right, this is the first time since July that we've seen a double bearish div since the 4-hour time frame. So the first time happened right here, right? Price formed this high right around here, and then we came and we took that high, and when we look at market cipher B, what do we see? Wow, money flow getting lower, momentum waves getting lower. Wow. Okay, so we need to take a look at this. Bitcoin is currently coming down right now to the local Fibonacci golden pocket zone. This actually is an important area of support right here. Let's quickly take a look at what is happening here. So Bitcoin is coming down to a little bit of a zone of support right in here, this Fibonacci golden pocket. All right, this really is a pretty intense make it or break it zone for Bitcoin right here, okay? This is a pretty intense make it. We are dumping down right now. Wow. All right, Bitcoin is taking a bit of a dump here. Wow, okay. So Bitcoin's dumping, guys. We are coming to none other than the golden pocket pull from the last low to the high. All right, we're currently tapping into that right now. So let's watch and see, because really, if we're not going to get a bounce from here, then we are going to be looking toward lower prices for Bitcoin, okay? If we're not going to get a bounce from here, we're going to be looking toward lower prices for Bitcoin around that $41,000 zone, all right? So this is very key right here, because we have our low, our higher low, our higher high. This right here is going to really determine whether or not this bullish market structure holds before we get another move to the upside. So let's see. Wow, we're dumping. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is scary stuff right here, guys. All right, a little bit of a hyperventilation going on. Okay, nothing too crazy. It looks like, you know, are we even going to get a bounce from this golden pocket here? I don't know. I don't know. Looks like no. Wow. So one last shot here, guys. One last shot in this support box. But sheesh, Bitcoin's dumping like a wild lady right now. Oh my goodness. Look. Oh my goodness. All right, we're dumping down. This is insane, guys. This is absolutely insane. Let's see what happens here. Are we gonna even, if we, oh my goodness. Oh! Okay, look at this. Let's look at this. Are we gonna hold this green line here? This green line is very important. 41,821. 41,821, super important, must hold. 41,821 must hold. All right. Now, wow, would you look at this? Remember, we are looking for a move back down toward this trend line. So, like, if this golden pocket is not going to hold, then we look for this trend line. And if this trend line doesn't hold, guys, we might see lower Bitcoin prices. Okay? Man, this is happening live right now. This is crazy. Okay? Short trade, baby. Up right now, 439%. Short trade given literally from the exact top in the Casper crew, right? This is why I'm a huge proponent of TP1, and then let the rest ride in case of dump, right? So, whew, man, it's a good thing I trade that way. Okay, so we are getting a little bit of a bounce from this key level here, guys. This is so important. 41,821. This is a chickens drinking water pattern happening right now. Let's check out the 6-minute time frame. 6-minute time frame actually doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look so great though. And the 3-minute time frame looks like crap. Okay. The 1-minute time frame actually looks pretty good. It actually does look pretty good on the 3-minute time frame for potential holding of support here. But the reality is, if we don't hold above this green line here, then I'd say we're going to come down to test that trend line. And that trend line to me is the real make it or break it zone. So let's see. Let's see. Are we going to hold or are we going to dump? Right? Just objectively speaking right now, on the 24-minute time frame, we do see bullish divergences here, but money flow is getting lower. But we are seeing bullish divs coming up right here. That momentum wave doesn't look so great though, I'll be honest. The 12-minute, yes, we actually do see it looking really nice on the 12-minute. 12-minute looks like she could hold this level. 12-minute looks like she could hold this level. Let's go, baby. Let's check out the order flow. What's happening here? Let's check out the order book. What is happening here? Wow, massive decrease of open interest on this one. All right, so let's check out what exactly happened. We saw lots of longs get absolutely destroyed on that move down. And we also saw a lot of shorts taking profit. Now what are we seeing? We are seeing some longs start to open here. All right, so we saw massive liquidations on that move down. This blue bubble right here on the chart, these are long trades getting absolutely liquidated right here. And now we are actually starting to see some volume, some open interest increase here. Shorts are closing and longs are opening here. Shorts are closing, longs are opening. So this actually looks kind of good for a little bit of a bounce here, I'll be honest. It looks kind of good for a little bit of a bounce here. We got a 5-minute candle close above the level. So let's see what happens here, guys. Let's see if we don't get a little bit of a bounce here. Wow. Wow, talk about some volatility live on the stream, baby. That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Man, that is a wild move on Bitcoin. So look, here's what's happening right now. Let's check it out over here. The Bitcoin price has just come down. And we have taken this last low right here. Okay? We've grabbed the liquidity from everybody who had their stop losses below this low. And it looks like we are getting a slight chickens drink water pattern here. Okay? So here's what we really need to be aware of right now. If this is going to give us a little bit of a bounce, I would say that because we are still trading within this triangle pattern, we do need to be aware of a move up. We could actually get a pretty significant squeeze up right now, and then one last move to the downside before a break to the upside. All right, or we wait for the next move down, and then we get that bounce, okay? So this is bounce area number 1. This is bounce area numero uno. This is really what we should be aware of right now, honestly. This is our local support before we come down to the trend line. Local support before the trend line. Alrighty. Man, that was some volatility right there, guys. Shout out to everybody in chat right now. We got about 900 people. About 900 people in here. Let's see if we can't get the likes up to all 900 viewers, guys. And again, if we can get 1,000 likes during the first half hour of the stream, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT, baby. We will be giving away 1,000 USDT. Shout out to Gary. He says dumping. Shout out to Dread Mining. Waiting on a 786. Yeah. Did the Grayscale CEO quit? Joe Booty? Shout out to Joe Booty. I like that last name, bro. Infinite Wisdom. What's poppin'? Are we going to pump? Now we going to dump? Shout out to Infinite Wisdom holding it down with the wrench. All right, so back to the Bitcoin analysis, guys. Something that's a bit concerning, all right, about this here is the fact that, yes, we got a bearish divergence on the 4-hour right up here, right? The upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boo pattern. We saw it very clearly on the chart right up here, okay? So this is actually, if we take a look here, upside down SBF pattern. Well, hang on. Oh man, I put Sam Bankman's boobs in the wrong spot. Oh man, well you guys are gonna have to bear with me here. Here we go. Look at this. SBF's boobs getting lower over time as the price is getting higher. That is called a bearish div, and we saw it over here, which is why we took the short in the Casper Crude. Short trade that I still got open here. But then, look at this. We actually saw it again right here, where price was making a higher high. And once again, we actually saw, much smaller this time, but nonetheless, we did still see those boobs getting lower here. It's the first time we've seen two of these since July 2023. Okay, so we also did give that short setup in the Casper Crude, the short trade. This high, that second high, we're at the second div, all right? And then from that time, that short trade played out perfectly. Shout out to everyone in the Casper Crude. And then, you know, we did get a bounce from this area. But I do have to say, from the time that we made that second high, I did post in the Discord saying, I'm a little bit more bearish. I'm looking for some downside here because of the fact that we printed that that second bearish div. Okay, so over in the Discord, I was like, I have to say this, that second CDW that we got last night looks bearish because it's the second 4-hour div that we got in the range. And technically, guys, when we see those two divs in a row, it could mean that we're not going to break up from the range. It could mean a drop to 38K. Does it definitely mean that? No. But what it does mean, really, is for me, I'm planning to hold my shorts a little bit longer now. So I told everybody, right? I'm not saying that I'm taking the short down to 38K. I'm just saying that from now on, after we got this double 4-hour divergence, I'm not looking at the shorts as much as scalps as I am potential trades down to lower prices, right? And so we are seeing a bit of that move to the downside right now. Shout out to my man, Vengar Singh. He says, check LDO. Yeah, we could check LDO. All right, we'll check LDO. We will check LDO. Man, let me make a note of that. LDO. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chat. We will take a look at LDO, man. All right. So, as you can see, we have gotten a little bit of a move to the downside from this area. And yeah, this is something that we do need to keep in mind, guys. We have not seen the double 4-hour bear div since July. And because of that, we need to be prepared for, well, this, a correction. And that correction could very well take us down to $32,000 if we lose 38K. And the reason why this is such a key zone here, 30, is because, you know, this was our major support resistance flip, right? Going all the way back to January 2021, this was our support. Right? It was resistance in the bear market, and after we've broken out from this level, we have definitely not formed any kind of base. We have not formed any kind of solid support saying, yes, we're officially breaking out, let's see higher prices, right? Instead, we've left behind lots of liquidity that could very, very, very easily get squeezed, okay? Now, what would we have wanted to see on this breakout? We would have wanted to see price break out, retest, maybe take the highs, take the lows, right? And then make a higher low and then break out, right? We would have wanted to see something like this happen where we actually form a base, where we break out, we get the retest, we get the stop hunt, right? We take out the highs, right? We wreck the early shorters who think this is the top. We wreck the early longers, long in the breakout and retest, and we establish support. We get some volume going on here, and then we get the breakout. But that's not what we had. We didn't even come back down for a retest at all. And this entire way up, what did we do? We left behind higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This could very easily, guys, turn into a massive liquidation wick, right? And that would not be bearish. We have to understand. That would actually be healthy. That would be healthy, super healthy, right? Because when you leave behind all those single prints and all those liquidity levels, that means there's a lot of over leveraged longs in the market. That's just not healthy for an actual move to the upside here. Okay, so that is something that we need to be cautious of. Bitcoin, let's see how she's doing. She is holding on here, guys. She is holding on for dear life, honestly. It looks like that, for dear life. Okay, so are we going to hold the level 41,839. That is the level that needs to hold. And personally, I am not looking to take a long trade until we come down to that trend line, guys. I am not looking to take a long trade unless we come down to the trend line. I'm not saying we can't bounce, but the thing is, guys, for me, well, I'm already in a few Bitcoin longs here, so I have no reason to get into a long on the day after Christmas where there's low volume and all this while we're just trading in this range, right? If I'm low from the bottom of the range here, if I'm long from the low, I don't want to add to my position unless I see that we're actually getting a bounce from this trend line here. Okay? So that's how I'm playing this right now. I'm playing it kind of safe, right? I'm playing it kind of safe. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Wow, we got 1,100 people in here. We have 300 likes. If everybody likes the video in the next 10 minutes, guys, we are going to give away 1,000 USDT. All right, we'll give away 1,000 USDT. Is the Bitcoin daily chart considered bearish? So it depends on how we're looking at the Bitcoin daily chart. So I would say this: we have no bearish divergences here. We have no bearish divergences here. Money flow was pretty thick at the high, right? We didn't see a money flow or a momentum divergence, but we are seeing a pretty overbought momentum wave followed by a trigger wave with money flow getting lower. And that, although it's not necessarily extremely bearish, it could definitely lead to a pullback. Now, I would say the daily time frame, when we zoom out, is extremely bullish because we have been in an uptrend for an entire year, right? For an entire year. But this daily time frame for me, locally, looks like it wants some downside. I won't get bearish on the daily time frame unless we close a daily candle below this level here. All right, 40K, because 40K, that is where we change market structure on the daily time frame. That is where we are no longer in an uptrend for the first time. Now, since August 2023, right? This uptrend has been intact since August, where the daily has not made a lower low at all. And so if the daily makes a lower low and loses 40K and closes that candle, this is our first tip off that yes, this is a real like bearish change. And also we could look for, if we get something like this, we can now look for the trend to reverse, and we could look for a move down to $30,000 to $32,000. Right? The first place we look for support is going to be $38,000 because $38,000 is the high volume node of the last bull market, as well as this obvious support resistance flip, right? We talked about not establishing any kind of support on the way up. Well, if there's any kind of support that we've established, it is going to be in this area right here. This is the only area of support that we have here where we have some kind of a base right here to potentially find support on. All right. So if we get that move down to 30K, it could happen quite quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like this. We come to this area, we form some kind of a little range here, and then we get another dump down, right? Maybe even lower than what people want, just to get everybody super bearish. And then we get the bounce that goes into the halving that leads into the actual bull market, right? That is something that could happen here, right? All right, so Bitcoin did close the candles above this level. We have not lost this level. So far, we are holding 41,821. Let's see what happens here. We understand that we are just above another important zone of support right down here, the trend line, the 786 zone. We also understand that where we're at right now is a local area support. And if we can hold above 41,850, then we could get more upside here, potentially back to, I would say, the golden pocket that we have right around here. Right around 43K would be my first target for a move to the upside from here. Right around 43K would be my next target. 43K to the next target. Shout out to my man Evan Aldo with the super chat. Wow, $100 super chat. Yeah, so Evan Aldo says funding rates are high. I think we got to come down to 39 to 40K to clean up this market and make it healthy again. Nice. Evan Aldo, man. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here, bro. Yeah, you know, that would really clean out this entire range right here. That would clean out this entire range right here. I would love a move down to 38K just to basically retest that support resistance flip that we have down in this zone right here. This is where I plan to really take profits on my short here. But yeah, that would not surprise me in the slightest if we clear out a lot of these over leveraged longs, bro. I mean, do you think, Evan, that we could come down to, if you're still here, do you think we could come down lower, like to the $30,000 level? Because, you know, when I look at this on the higher term time frames and I see all of this, it's like, man, if we don't hold 38K, right? If we don't hold 38K, or even if we get a dead cat bounce, bam. I mean, we could fall through like a hot stick of butter dripping through a 2-liter soda bottle, if that makes any sense to anybody out there, you know? I don't know if that even makes sense, but you know, I'm gonna roll with it, baby. I'm gonna roll with it. Yeah, so Bitcoin so far holding well at this level. This could be at least a temporary local bottom. Shout out to Evan Aldo with the super chat, man. Thank you so much for being here, my man. All right. Shout out to Red Elephant. Shout out to Wolf of Crypto. Shout out to Alki GN. The CME gap at 38.2. Yeah, so 38 is, there's a lot of confluence there. Not only is it a it is a CME gap, right? It is a CME gap. What is this going on here? It is a CME gap. It's a CME gap. It's the high volume node of the entire bull market. So check this out. I mean, if we go to Coinbase, right, and we zoom out here, 38K is the point of control of this old range, right around this zone here. So we have a lot of confluence there. And yes, we have the CME futures gap that we left behind right here at 38K. It's actually at 39,250, that CME gap. So basically this entire zone right here, guys, this is, for me, this is must hold if we are going to see higher Bitcoin prices. And I'm obviously looking for long trades from this area to get into fresh new longs and take it up to 50K. So really one of the ideas that I have here for Bitcoin is coming down to the 38, 39K zone and then taking it up to the value area high, basically, of the Coinbase range, which is going to be coming in right around $49,000, $50,000. So this is a really nice potential, in my opinion, swing trade on Bitcoin that we could take, right? Like Evan Aldo has mentioned, we clean out all this, we fill the gap, we get the bounce from support, and then back off to the races. The secondary thing that we need to do is really clean out all these guys and then come back down to backtest these highs at $32,000-ish. Right, those are really the two options that I foresee for Bitcoin right now. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish in the chat. Shout out to TJ Johnson. Shout out to Jungle Boy 420. Shout out to the Dusty Hunt. What's my Bitcoin target price to the upside? My Bitcoin target price to the upside is going to be $49,000 to $50,000. My Bitcoin target price to the downside is first 38K. My two take profits right now on this short trade are 38,660 and then 37,500. So my next major two take profits on this short are going to be down here, right? So those are my next two. All right. Shout out to the Casper crew. I know a lot of us took this trade, man. I know a lot of us are still holding this short, right? This is how we do it. This is how we get into those juicy trades. Right? We make the plan, we take a profit, and then we hold the rest just in case of dumpage. But look, if we don't dump, if we hold this triangle, then I'm still going to be trading my long plan, right? Because I'm trading my long and short plans at the same time. That's how I like to do it. That's how I like to do it. And then really my final TP on this is going to be around 34,000. 34,000 is going to be also a major take profit. And then 31,500. These are my next two take profits on the short trade. Right? Now look, again guys, I'm not a Bitcoin bear. All right? I have a lot of Bitcoin on spot. And I'm hoping for higher Bitcoin prices. I'm expecting higher Bitcoin prices, especially in 2024. So any drops we get, I'm looking as a gift, right? This short trade, if it plays out, this would be a gift for everybody. Because imagine if we could have a second chance buying Bitcoin under 30K. That's a good opportunity, in my opinion. Right now, buying Bitcoin under 30K, heading into the halving, heading into the bull market, in my opinion, that is a good opportunity, right? That is a good opportunity. Shout out to Ape. I should allow members. I should, Ape. You know what? I think I'm going to do that, my friend. Shout out to Niles Baps. He says 32K in 2024 January. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. That really does make a lot of sense. Shout out to Jungle Boy 420. God bless you, bro. Shout out to David of 54. Can you give the settings for the gold fib? Man, I don't even know what the settings are. Let's check. I just used the orange, just the orange and the red. I mean, the stock orange and the stock red, and the stock, not the stock yellow, but this one here. I mean, I just did that. But yeah, I like it. I like it. Don't you like it? I like it. It looks good. It looks good, man. It looks real good. You know? Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin, guys. I mean, we're going to get into some altcoins here. Wow, so Bitcoin is getting that CDW from the level, guys. Would you look at that? Bitcoin is, in fact, getting that CDW from the level. Which means, yeah, 43K. Right around 43K. Could be the next place that we look for price to come up to. What, 43K? Why did I say 43K? Hang on one second. Why did I say 43K? Oh, because that's the golden pocket. Yeah, that's the golden pocket. Yeah, don't be surprised if we got to move up to 43K eventually. But before we hit the 43K, there are some other areas that we need to be aware of. So let's go to a lower time frame, all right? Let's go to a lower time frame. And let's just see what we have before that. So before we hit 43K, most important resistance right now is 42,370. Support resistance flip, golden pocket. If we can reclaim 42,370, 42,900 is our next resistance. If we reclaim 42,900, then I'd say, yeah, we could look up to 43K. We could look up to 43. 43.3 is the Fibonacci golden pocket, right? So if we're going to come down to this lower trend line here, something like this is probably what we are going to be looking at, right? Just in the context of this triangle right here. In the context of this triangle. Alrighty, let's take a look at some other assets here. We got to take a look for my good friend with the super chat at LDO. LDO. Let's check it out. LDO USDT. All right, now keep in mind, guys, this is super important. Actually, it's very important right now that we get the likes up to 1,000 because look, yeah, we didn't do it in time, but I'll give you guys another 5 minutes. If everyone likes the video right now, we'll do a $1,000 giveaway. Man, that is wild. A $1,000 giveaway? That's crazy. Okay, so LDO. What do I think about this thing? Man, I don't really know what to think about this. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know what to think about this. I don't really like this chart, to be honest. Wow. The only thing I can say is that we are respecting this trend line on regular scale. You know, I don't know, like, there's not a lot of good market structure here, in my opinion. Like, this is when it was first listed. We can't really trust that high. The only thing I would say about it is this. We've got a triangle forming here, which means until this thing breaks out or breaks down, we should be looking for longs at the low of this trend line and shorts at the high. This is not on log scale, this is on regular scale. This is on the daily time frame, right? Because there's no sign of strength here, there's no sign of weakness here, just based on the market structure, right? We don't really have bullish divergences at any of these lows to make us say, you know what, the bottom's in. And we have no bullish or bearish market structure. We have no history. We have no previous ranges to tell us what's support and what's resistance. Okay? So all I would say is this. I would look to get into a long or a buy down at this area and look to hold it up to this area for at least a partial. And if this thing does break out, then this is the place to be looking to get in. I don't know anything about LDO, okay? But I would say this. When it comes to altcoins right now, I would not be so interested in this based on the chart alone. And the reason is because I don't, when we're looking at a lot of altcoins, right, I like to see how much upward potential do they have, right? So a lot of times we can look at previous cycles and say, wow, this was way up here and then we dumped, right? And so we could say to ourselves, this is probably going to break out, and then we can say, what's our upward potential? And we could look to the all-time high and say, wow, this is our upward potential. We don't really have that here. So you're going to have to, this is more of a fundamental play, I would have to say. But just based on the technicals alone, I would say, look, we can't go wrong buying support, because that is where historically we've gotten the bounce. And we are right now coming up to the value area high of the range confluence with the trend line. So it just makes sense when we come down to the value area low of the range confluence with the trend line that we'd look for the move to the upside. So thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much to everybody who liked the video. Let's see. We got another super chat up in here. Shout out to OMAC. Can you look at SOL? What's my max bench and squat? Well, my max bench ever is 330. My max squat ever is 455. And I haven't touched those numbers in quite some time, my friend. I have not squatted over 365 in a long time. And the reason why is because I'm not chasing 1-rep maxes anymore. I'm not. I usually don't do reps any lower than 3 at the most. And I'm too old, man. And honestly, it's just not, the risk versus reward is not good, right? Chasing 1-rep maxes all the time, for me, not for everybody, right? But for me, it's like this, right? It's 1-to-1 risk reward, you know? I'd rather like lower the weight, make it harder, do some pause squats, work on my mobility, work on my depth, work on my form, work on my range of motion. Bench presses, you know, I'd rather just same deal, work on my form, work on controlling the weight, the pause bench, get in the stretch and the pec on the way down, and, you know. But, all right, let's take a look at Solana. So, guys, SOL, we've been saying this for a while, that, oh my goodness, wow. So we need to talk about SOL right now, because we are breaking down from this thing here. We are breaking down from this thing. Okay, so we were saying, the last time we looked at SOL, actually, we were looking at this low time frame bull flag, looking for a potential breakout of the bull flag. So we actually did get a breakout of this local bull flag right here, right? And we did get a pretty big move after that breakout of the bull flag. So we had the bull flag, and we ended up with about a 10% move after that. Now, we didn't hit our final target of $155. In fact, we are now back inside the range, and we are back inside now this key level. So let's remove everything from the chart right now, and let's do some fresh analysis on SOL, because yeah, look at this, SOL getting a dump. SOL getting a dump. All right, so I say this for SOL. If we can hold above, this is just my first initial thoughts, okay? If SOL can reclaim 107, that is bullish, right? If we can hold above this level, we could look for a move back up, okay? If we break above this, get a little retest, we could then look for a move back up to the top of the range. If we can't do that, this is not the most bullish thing in the world, guys. Because that means, again, we are now going to be changing structure on some of these medium-term time frames, like the 1 hour here. Okay, so let's take a look at where our next key support and resistances are going to be. Let's take a look at where some of our next key support and resistances are going to be for SOL. Alright, first of all, we have to understand SOL is at a very key level right now. That is this $101. That is the high volume node of this entire bull market. Okay? And we are currently bouncing from it. So, I'd say this for SOL. We are right at a very key level. I mean, this is such a key level right now on Solana. If we lose it, we could see a pretty swift move back down to, let's pull some fibs. Yeah, wow. I mean, look, if we lose 101, we could come back down to the golden pocket around 86, or even more so, $75. Let's go back to our daily time frame here. Now, again, a lot of this is contingent on Bitcoin. So here's what I would say, all right? $75 is going to be a very key level for Solana. Extremely key. 75 on Solana is, in my opinion, kind of analogous to 31K for Bitcoin, because it's the support of the bull market that was flipped then into resistance, and then we broke out. So really, we could say, coming back down to $75, that's to retest this major support resistance flip that comes all the way back to here. Let's go ahead and pull some more fibs. We'll pull a fib from this low to the high. Yeah, that's, wow, would you look at that confluence there? Yeah, so 75, 80 bucks, guys. Fibonacci golden pocket, value area low of this range from over here. So if Solana is going to lose $101, we could look for a move back down to this golden pocket. Now, I know that's a drastic move to the downside. People don't like that, but we have to think to ourselves, fast move up equals fast move down. And just like for Bitcoin, we didn't establish any support on the way up here. You could see how very easily we could come down to this zone, because this is the only place right here where we see any kind of support. So, yeah, you know. And look, as we've been watching these altcoins run, as we've been doing TA on these coins during alt season, we've been doing it with the understanding that, look, if you are coming to the charts now after all these coins have gotten hundreds or thousands of percents, you are late to the party. And every time you long or buy, there's a chance you're buying or longing the top, right? That's why we want to focus on coins that have not broken out yet, or we need to wait for a significant pullback before we get in. One thing we can say for certain about all these coins, Solana, Polkadot, ICP, all these coins that have broken out and gotten these massive moves, these are bullish moves, all right? But a bullish move doesn't mean it's time to buy. But a bullish move means it's time to look at where you want to buy. Because now that SOL is breaking out and printing some pretty bullish candle structure, we can say now if we do get a pullback, we have that sign of strength. We have that sign of strength saying, you know what? There's a good chance we're going to get continuation here after a healthy pullback. This is where we plan, if we're looking to buy on spot, is where we plan, where do we DCA? Maybe we do DCA a little bit here. And then we look at these other areas of support to say, you know what? I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know what kind of black swan event might happen, may not or may not happen. But I wasn't diligent in the bear market. I was too scared down here. If you were too scared down here, or you weren't into crypto down here, you forgot about crypto down here, look, we still have opportunities, because we could get a pullback to here. And let's say we get a black swan where Bitcoin dumps down below like 25K. We could see a lot of these altcoins do massive dive bombs, right? But here's the thing. if we're bullish on Solana in the long term, and I am bullish on Solana in the long term, okay, we have to think to ourselves, if we DCA in this area, even if we hit a new low, if we're going to hit new highs, we're still talking 500% gains here, right? If we hit a $300 Solana, let's say we hit a $300 Solana, that's almost a 500% gain. Even if, let's say, we're buying or accumulating in this massive zone, right? So we got to look at it that way. We got to look at the bigger picture. We can't just FOMO in because something's pumping. And we definitely can't buy the top, but we need to strategize. When we see things moving, that's when we need to strategize. If you missed the bottom, right? Now, I actually do hold quite a bit of Solana. I actually haven't sold any either. But I actually have, well, should I say this? Yeah, I'll say it. I have a lot of Solana on an exchange, and I have my limit order set for Solana up to some new all-time highs. Okay, so I haven't sold any yet, but those limit orders will start to get triggered once we come up into these other areas, right? They will be triggered. All right, shout out to all my fat, white, ambiguously gendered college students majoring in trans, non-carbon, binary emission studies getting triggered. I know how it is. This is a picture of me back in college right after I got my degree in trans, non-carbon, binary emission studies, and it was a terrible time because once I learned I actually was made of carbon, I started to hate myself. And not only that, I couldn't get a job because no one cared about my degree in trans, non-carbon, binary emission studies. That's actually what led me to trading, though, because I couldn't get a job. I needed a way to make money. And then I found the charts, and you know, when you're actually doing something productive in life, well, you don't have time to look like this anymore. You know? It's weird how that works. So now I just look like a normal old guy. Crazy. All right, let's see who else we got in the chat here. Why don't I trade a funded account? I might, man. I was looking at some of these prop firms, but you know, look, it's just something. It's not something I've ever done. You know, I might get into it. I might get into it. I'm definitely going to start trading like traditional futures. I'm going to start trading traditional futures markets in 2024. So you're probably going to see me doing that. And that's probably going to be a good time. All right, let's check out Binance Coin. No, let's check out MATIC, actually. Shout out to Crypto Burger. Good old Crypto Burger. Man, that burger looks good. Yeah, let's look at MATIC. I actually do hold a lot of MATIC as well. Oh, wow. So MATIC has broken out. Yeah, let's remove everything on MATIC, okay? So MATIC, I'm bullish on it for the long term. I'm bullish on it for the long term. Now, you could say for MATIC that we have this kind of like resistance, depending on how you want to draw it. Log scale, regular scale. Let's go to log. All right, log scale. And yeah, so you could say that we've broken out of a resistance like this, which actually is quite bullish. I even like the way we broke out and consolidated here. And now you could even say that we are forming another, like a bull pennant here and attempting to break out of this one, right? Now, this could lead to much more upside here, actually, for MATIC. I like MATIC. I think the chart does look bullish. And would I personally be buying MATIC right here? I can't do it, guys. Like, I don't trade bull flags. I do trade triangles, but I don't like to trade bull flags after the market, especially in these market conditions, guys. I mean, because we've just seen so many altcoins run already and things look a little toppy, I would be hesitant to get in here. Doesn't mean we can't pump, but for me personally, it's just not my trading style, okay? So it's really hard for me to say, yes, I would buy MATIC here, but let's just, for argument's sake, look at the target of this thing. All right. The target of this thing is taking us to our next major area of resistance. And let's go ahead and pull a fib here. Let's see if we have any other confluences there. I mean, it's the 50% retracement. It's actually a really nice level. Let's take a look at some of the volume here on MATIC. Oh, man. Yeah, like, if we break out of this bull flag, guys, yeah, it could be really bullish, because then we're breaking out of the value area high, and we could be looking at a move of about, you know, another 54% here, all right? Now, again, when we're looking at coins like this, we've already seen on MATIC a 95% move to the upside, right? So buying after 100% move to the upside, that's like buying Bitcoin right now, okay? That's like buying Bitcoin right now, right? After we had the chance to buy at 15K and 20K and 25K, right? So we have to think to ourselves, if the crypto markets are going to get a correction, this is not the time to buy. But if we're going to take for granted that this is going to continue, this to me does look bullish right now. The trend is definitely up. We've made a higher high on the chart. So if you see that we get a breakout of this and then a retest of these highs, I would actually say that's not even a bad opportunity. Because if we do get a breakout and a retest here, we know where our stop loss goes, and we know where our first take profit should be. That's about a 3-to-1 risk reward, and depending on where we see that bounce, we might be able to enter with a better risk reward ratio. This would be the next opportunity that I would see here on MATIC. I would personally want to wait for a breakout and a retest. If you're much more aggressive, man, we could do something like this, but the stop loss would have to go under those lows. And to me, that's just not worth it. That's just not worth it to me. A 2-to-1 risk reward ratio is not worth it. So right now, the opportunity that I would personally see for MATIC is a breakout and then a retest of this 90, like this $1 zone, right? A breakout and a retest of the $1 zone, because then we're longing support instead of longing into resistance. Right now, this is resistance, right? It's the value area high of the range, and we're longing into it, right? It's not the best idea to long into resistance, but if we break out of the resistance and then retest showing that what used to be resistance is support, then we can long support, and we're literally getting in at the same price as if we just long the breakout, right? So that's like my mentality when it comes to looking for opportunities on this. As to where would I want to buy MATIC on spot? Well, it's hard for me because I did buy a lot of altcoins in November 2022. Like, me and my wife stayed up late and bought altcoins. Like, that's what we did. And I already have limit orders in Coinbase targeting the highs on my MATIC. So for me right now, here's where I would look to buy MATIC. We've definitely changed market structure. We put in a low, we put in a high, we put in a higher low, all right? So for me, I mean, look, if we start to lose this point of control at 87 cents, I would look for buys at the fib levels, the 382, the 618, the 786, and the value area low. That's where I would be looking, because then we could have our long-term bull market play be something like this, right? Again, this is long-term stuff, but we're shooting for new highs. All right. But this would be our general long-term bull market play. And again, when we're talking about bigger coins like MATIC and AVAX and Solana and Link, the gains are not going to be as crazy as some of these meme coins that have the potential to make us 100x, you know. These are more conservative gains, but I'd say this is a pretty safe play. This is a pretty safe play if you're building a spot portfolio and you're new and you haven't been building the portfolio already. This is what I would look to do here if I was not in this thing at all, right? I'm not telling anyone to do this, not financial advice. Just the guy with the plunger on the face, okay? It's for when I short Bitcoin, but it goes up against me and I'm trying to get it back down. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. You guys know what it's like. You guys know what it's like. Like when the toilet overflows. You know, it never happens at your own house. It only happens at your friend's house. Happens at your friend's mom's house. And she's one of those old school people that has carpet in the bathroom. Sheesh, who would put carpet in the dang bathroom? But yeah, she has it, for sure. And you flush that thing and, well, it's rising, it's going up. You're about to get liquidated, literally. I mean, now your pants are underwater, your shorts are underwater. Literally, and the carpet's wet. How do you explain that one to your friend's mom? That's an awkward one, I'll tell you. That is an awkward one. How's Bitcoin doing? All right, she's like, doesn't know what the heck she wants to do. You know, she doesn't know what the heck she wants to do. All right, so my next major target for Bitcoin, guys, is going to be that trend line zone. We've got the 786, and we've got that trend line right down here. So let's go ahead, pull our fib, low to high. In general, this is the next place I want to long Bitcoin, is right around here. And this is honestly my last hope for a bullish scenario for Bitcoin, because if we lose the yellow trend line, I am expecting 38K and then 32-ish K, right? So this trade here, you can see this short trade, I am not even planning to take profits on this thing until much lower. I've already taken a good profit on it, right? This is the short trade that we gave just a few days ago in the Casper crew. So from that lower high, so I've already realized a really good profit on this thing, right? Man, 7,500 USDT. And so I would let this thing ride until we get down to like 33K. I could probably eke out maybe like 1,500 bucks on this thing. That'd be crazy. Let's see if we could do that. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Barack. Is there a difference between 1x leverage and there's no difference really between leverages, guys. There's really no differences between leverages. So 1x versus 100x, the only difference is your liquidation price, honestly. A 1x leverage in spot, yeah, there is a difference. You know, so if you're margin trading, you're not actually trading that asset, right? If price goes against you 100%, you get liquidated and you lose everything. If you're holding Bitcoin on spot, right, and price goes against you 100%, you still have your Bitcoin. It's just worth way less than what you bought it for. So spot is definitely way safer because you're never going to lose your asset, right? I'm trading Bitcoin, but I don't own this Bitcoin. I'm just putting up capital as collateral, and I'm betting that the price will go one way or another way. You know? Usman is long from here. That's not a bad place to be long, bro. I mean, you have a clear invalidation, right? I mean, look, it's not a bad long trade here, I would say, because you know where you're wrong. Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to be a winning trade. Just a good trade doesn't mean it's a winning trade. A good trade means you know how much you're risking, where you're wrong. So in this instance right here, for me, this is a valid trade setup. Because I know where I'm wrong, I know how much I'm risking, I know where I'm taking profit. I take profit at the top of this range. I would get stopped out if we take the low. My entry's right here. If I risk 1% of my capital, I'm gaining 3%. If I get stopped out of this trade, well, we have the 786 and the trend line down below where I would look for another trade. So I am not taking a long here. I've already said I am not looking for a long until we come down to the white box. Okay, I'm already in Bitcoin longs. I'm not going to add to and or open new ones until we come down to this box. It's just not worth it for me. All right. Shout out to Raza. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Bears had their fun from 69K to 16K. Small dump? LOL. Am I natural? What do you mean by that? Am I natty? What do you mean? What do you mean by natty? Does MEXC work for people in New York City? Look, I don't know, but I know different states have different requirements, like as far as VPNs and stuff go. Just always use a VPN no matter what, right? All right, ICP is down to a nice golden pocket. Yeah, let's actually take a look at ICP. We'll take a look at ICP. Let's take a look at ICP. Guys, make sure to like the dang stream. All right, let's take a look at ICP here. Am I natural or do I use steroids? I don't know. I'm juicing on the charts, baby. I'm juicing on the charts. All right, let's take a look at ICP. All right, so last time we were looking at ICP, we were saying that we are trading this bull flag here, and we would like to come down and take all these lows for a bounce. We have not yet done that, so this is assuming that we're forming some kind of a bull flag here on ICP. This is kind of my idea for ICP. I would like to take all the lows, come down to the support resistance flip that we have right here around $8.21, and then get a bounce from that area. This is if we are in a very bullish scenario. Now, why am I looking at this level? It's because it's the Fibonacci 382. The Fibonacci 382 from the low. All right? From the low to the high. And in a very bullish situation, you would expect a bull flag to form, and you would expect the 382 to act as support. So this is a general bullish idea for ICP with our target at $16. Is this going to happen? Well, as I say, and as I've been saying for the past few weeks, if you are coming to these coins and you're not already in them and you haven't been accumulating them in the bullish wedges or in the ranges, you've missed out on a lot, okay? We've just had a 300% gain. So you're buying high. Objectively speaking, you're buying high. Any basic grandpa who's into stocks will tell you, son, all you got to do to make money in the dang market is buy low and sell high. Well, you wouldn't be listening to grandpappy if you're buying ICP now. It doesn't mean we can't keep pumping because we've seen crypto pump. But I'm saying this because we have to come into it with the understanding of the context of the market, right? We can't come into it with the understanding that this thing pumped, so therefore it's going to pump again, right? We had a parabolic straight up hockey stick move, all right? That is the most unsustainable pattern in the world. Doesn't mean we can't get another one, okay? If we are going to get another one, I would be looking for a bounce from around $8.35, the 382 Fibonacci. Just basically take out all the lows, everybody who's been long in this entire zone, liquidate them, stop them out, and then get the pump, right? We want to see a range form here. We want to take the lows of the range. We want to change market structure. We want to make a higher low and then break out, okay? So I would first be looking to long if we come down to this area with bullish divergences on the lower time frames, and then I would pull my Fibonacci from that low to the high, and then I would look to add to that position as we come down to the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 retracement, and then I would look to target that to about $75, right? So I would honestly probably long here, take profit at the highs, partial profits, compound down here at this level, and then have my final target at 75, right? This is a bullish idea. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, guys, okay? But that is definitely a bullish idea. If this does not happen, then just like we've been saying for these other coins, we need to be prepared for quite a significant move to the downside, because just like Bitcoin and all these other coins, we have had a parabolic straight up move for multiple days, leaving behind no semblance of support. Okay? Now, again, the 382 of this bull flag is a local support because of this high that we formed back here in February 2023. So it's a very key level. I would like to get a bounce from that level if we're going to see more upside. If we lose that level, around, you know, $8.30 or whatever, then I would say we're probably going to come all the way back down to the range, which, if we pull the volume, is going to be this. Man, we could come down quite a bit, guys. I mean, we could come back down into this value area. We could just come back down as far as $3.50 to the value area low. Now, $3.50 for ICP, in my opinion, would be a gift. And let me tell you why, right? We're just gonna look at the chart here objectively, right? Again, when we see coins that have gotten big moves, like ICP, we shouldn't think to ourselves, ooh, now is the time to buy. That should not be our first thought. Our first thought should always be, dang, I missed that, but where now would be a good opportunity for me to get in again, given the fact that this thing looks bullish? Well, for me, what I like to do is I like to look at the overall structure of this asset. We have been in a downtrend for quite some time, right? We have our lower low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low. Now we've just made a higher high, right? We've taken out the last two lower highs on the daily time frame. This is telling us, okay, we're no longer in a downtrend. We are now in an uptrend. Now, what characterizes an uptrend? Higher highs and higher lows. So now that we've made a higher high, we just say, okay, now's my chance to wait for a higher low so that I can buy the bottom of the dip. So where's that higher low going to come in? Well, this is where we can use tools like volume and Fibonacci. So for me, I'll be honest with you. I don't like any of these fib pulls here, right? This is on log scale, but if we take this off log scale, I don't really like the Fibonacci right here. Not the golden pocket. I would actually prefer to wait for this area right down here. The 786. This area right to me, between, I mean, it's a zone. It's a buy zone for sure. Around $3.50 to around $4.75. This is the high volume node of the entire bear market. It's the 786 Fibonacci. It's the value area low of the range. And this would now maintain with our bullish market structure. And we have to think how easily we could come back down and give all of this back. I mean, really, when we look at this chart, right? People are so funny. I see people giving thumbs down, right? People giving thumbs down. All right. All right, you do what you want. Like, honestly, like, look, I'm just here to give my opinion. This is how I view the markets, right? But if you like to buy things after a 300% pump, be my guest. But for me, right, I don't hold any ICP. I hold MATIC. I hold Solana. I don't hold any ICP. Am I going to buy ICP here? No. Is ICP going to pump like crazy? Yes. 100%. ICP is going to pump like crazy. If I buy ICP right here in a year and a half, will I be in profit? Most likely. Most likely. Most likely. But that's not how I like to do it, guys. Right? I need to wait for some kind of a pullback based on market structure. That's how I do it. So we, in just a few days, like literally 1, 2, 3 days, we pumped 150%. All right. If we are going to get a healthy retest, it means we could very, very quickly come back and just dip into this last zone where we actually see some kind of base, some kind of consolidation, some kind of volume, some kind of fib confluence right down here. And this is now an amazing opportunity because we don't have to buy the top. We could buy down in this zone. And then we could shoot for a new high, right? It's like the second chance at this pump. Look, if you're already in ICP, good for you. I wouldn't sell my ICP here. I would probably sell some of it, maybe. But if you're in it for the long term in the bull market, yeah, we can expect much higher prices on this thing, right? Look at this. Even if we hit new all-time highs, I mean, that's it. We got to go to log scale for this one, right? New all-time highs, we're looking at like almost 10,000%. And I do believe we could see ICP surpass its all-time highs, right? This thing could go absolutely insane. It really could. Internet coin protocol. aka Insane Clown Posse. This thing could go insane, all right? But for me right now, this is what I would prefer to wait for. This is what I would prefer to wait for. Right, but you do you, right? This ain't no financial advice. I'm just a guy in the treadmill, all right? Just a guy in the treadmill eking out little Bitcoin day trades here and there. So, yeah. So again, look, opportunity number one on ICP for me, locally, is this. Right? Local opportunity on ICP is this for me. The bull flag breakout with our target first at $16, and then that's just a target. Doesn't mean you have to close the whole dang thing, right? This is opportunity number one. Opportunity number two, in the event of a much bigger pullback, this would be my buy zone, and then I would hold for a new all-time high on this thing. Right now, obviously, this is just a listing wick here. We can't really count this thing. Really, our all-time highs are what, around $150, $200. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see this thing hit crazy prices, like crazy prices. Maybe not this crazy. Maybe not this crazy. That's a little too crazy there. But at least thousands of percents on this. At least thousands of percents. Maybe not 52,000%, guys. But we could still expect this thing to pump like crazy. That was a little extreme. I don't know why I drew it that high. I don't know why I drew it that high. That was a little crazy there, huh? It's difficult changing between log scale and regular scale and all this, you know. All right, shout out to everybody in chat. That's right. Graphics. J-Graphics says, no steroids, I just drink chicken milk. Yeah, I drink chicken milk. I drink chicken milk. Alright, Harmony analysis. We could take a look. Shout out to the Crypto Report for the super chat. Would I be selling any altcoins now if I bought the bottom? No, I'm not Crypto Report. And I did buy a lot of altcoins in November 2022. But I'm in them for the long game, man. Like, I got a lot of stuff on Coinbase with my limit orders already set. Like, limit orders already set. Yeah. What can I say? Like, I'm in it for the long game. Bitcoin is my short-term profit-making thing here, right? I'm a day trader, so I'm super zoomed in on my Bitcoin day trading, and I'm super zoomed out on my altcoin portfolio. I even sold some spot Bitcoin at 38K, but I didn't sell any altcoins, even though percentage-wise I made more percent on the altcoin gains. The reason for that is just my own personal preference, right? Bitcoin, I'm in the trenches daily. These altcoins, I'm just looking to take small amounts of money and turn them into large amounts at the all-time highs. All right. Uh-oh. J-Boy Bullish says that chicken milk wasn't milk. Well, it was white and liquidy. What else could it be, J-Boy Bullish? What else could it be? All right, I'm just checking the chat to see if anyone left a super chat, because this software I have to... Shout out to Jagged Mountain. God bless you, Jagged Mountain. I have to update the software so it tells me when I get a super chat. All right. All right, let's take a look at I know I forget the coin we were just going to look at. What was the coin we were just going to look at? I don't know, but yeah, we'll take a look at RNDR, render. Wow, okay, so this thing is pumping like crazy. Yeah, so, like, for me, this thing... for me, this is a difficult one, alright? Because what we have here is a coin that's very close to its November 2021 high. I don't know if it was listed somewhere else before this. Let's see if it was listed on, like, KuCoin. Yeah. This one's tough for me. Like, I don't know anything about this coin, so just based on the technicals, right? We have our high around this area, and we have our low around this area. This is not a good place to buy, right? And what's even worse about it is... Well, I shouldn't say worse. Okay, so here, let's look at the positives, right? We're in bullish market structure, and we're heading into a bull market in general. So, for that reason... man, I mean... We could look to buy a dip on this. The question is, where would we buy the dip? You know? The place that sticks out to me right now would have to be this zone right here, because we have some confluences right here, right? We have, first of all, we have this high that we made back in 2021 March. We have some volume in this area. We have this high, and we have this support resistance flip, and we have the golden pocket, right? So because we're in bullish market structure, the only place I'd really be interested in this thing right now is if we get to move back down to the golden pocket in this area. Are we going to do that? I don't know. I don't really know anything about render, but that's kind of what I see here for render. Drinking bull milk brings on the bull run. Whoa, birds don't have bladders, they poo out their liquid. That's true, and you know it all comes out the same hole, called the cloaca. Alright, shout out to all of my birds out there with their cloacas. Because, yeah, the cloaca is the hole where the poo, the pee, and the eggs come out. And they use it for reproduction, for egg production. Well, I guess egg production is reproduction. Peeing and pooping. Very interesting stuff, those chickens and their cloacas. You know, very interesting animals. I do have an affinity to chickens. Alright? Do I believe in the carnivore diet? Well, I'll be honest, alright? So I think that for a lot of sick fat people, the carnivore diet is a great diet to get healthy. It's the ultimate elimination diet. It will help you lose weight. It's very hard to overeat if you're only eating protein and fat. But I think long term, it's definitely not good. What's wrong? Alright, y'all, I gotta head out. But God bless you guys. Thanks.